Hello, nerds! How are you guys doing tonight? Let me know if the sound's okay. I'm also, I have an upgraded camera. It's actually not that upgraded. It's pretty bad, like kind of cheap camera, but it's not the built-in camera to the laptop. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. Tonight, we are going to look at 7 total. We're nerding out big time. We're going to look at 7 charts that kind of explain the third Democratic debate. And this was done by 538.com, the awesome thing by Nate Silver. And they have, it's like a nerd heaven over there. So we are definitely going to go through these charts. And I'll warn you, I have not reviewed these charts. So we're going to kind of unbox them together. And hope you guys enjoy it. So let's share my screen and look at our first chart together. 1 second. There it is. J5 Alive, hello. How are you, my friend? American Jobs Factory is here in Philly. Arian's there. How's life in the EEC? What is the EEC? Welcome, Arbus, first-time viewer. And I think we've said hello to a lot of people. Hello, nerds! That's just a little bonus hello. Oh, Hunter says that I'm looking tasty with the new cam. It is like higher, I feel like it's higher resolution. It's not as blurry. The European Economic Community. Well, you know, I'm in Switzerland. They're kind of a little island in the middle of the EU that's kind of in the EU, but not really in the EU. Can you stop screaming? Thank you. Oh, come on, Taggart. I'm just greeting you, my friend. Hello, nerds. Okay, let us look at some charts. So the first one is which candidates made an outsized impression. So this is a 2x2, and it shows on the vertical axis the people's view of the debate performance, and then on the horizontal axis it is looking at the pre-debate favorability. So what you would expect is that if you had very high pre-debate favorability and then you had a really good debate performance, you'd be in the top right. And then if you had very low favorability and bad performance, you'd be in the bottom left. But then what would be interesting is if you had low debate favorability and very high performance, you'd be in the top left. So that would mean you kind of exceed expectations. And then if you were on the bottom right, that would mean you had very high pre-debate favorability, but very low perceived debate performance. Now, the big takeaway on this is basically everybody kind of met expectations. Everybody's sort of like tracking that dotted line. However, if you are under the dotted line, like Castro, you see he had pretty favorable pre-debate score, but then he's below neutral on his debate performance. So he kind of underwhelmed and missed expectations. Now you look at Beto O'Rourke, he actually had pretty high favorability before the debate, but he also had better than neutral performance of the actual debate. So he's kind of above that dotted line. And then you look at Warren, she had very good favorable, but she also had the most positive view on debate performance. So The takeaway, I think, from this chart is Castro was the big loser because he was kind of mean. And if you had to say who was the big winner, I would say it was probably who's kind of furthest from that dotted line, furthest up. Probably Warren and Booker and Beto. And Yang kind of didn't help or hurt himself too much in terms of people's judgment of the performance. I know a lot of people feel like Yang was had a big win in terms of getting all the emails from the giveaway. But in terms of people's view of his performance, they kind of like he was somewhat favorable before the debate, and they felt he was actually a little bit under neutral. So people weren't thrilled with his debate performance, but Castro was the worst. In fact, in terms of debate performance, Castro was the worst, but Yang and Klobuchar were not that much better. They were all below neutral. You see this horizontal line? You don't want to be under this line here. Okay, so now let's look at the next chart. Before I go to the next chart, let's see what people in the chat have said. Oh, God, you guys are funny. Someone's asking me, why won't I be able to vote? I'm an American citizen. Just because you live overseas does not mean you give up your right to vote. WT, first timer, welcome. Arian says, don't listen to Taggart. We love the screaming. I will try to keep the screaming to a moderate level, but every now and then I'm just going to have to say, hello, nerds. Okay. Josh, yes, I can vote. U.S. citizens overseas can vote. It's absentee ballot. Alex L is saying that 7% in California. Wow. Past Kamala and Pete. That's awesome. Maybe if we have time, we'll look at some polls. I think that's enough for the comments. Let's move on to our next chart. Nerds. Freaking nerds. All right. I love nerds. Here we go. Now this shows, what does it show? Before debate and then support after the debate. So this is the respondents who are considering voting for each candidate according to the Ipsos poll before and after the third debate. So what you want to see is you want to see movement from left to right. And basically, who has the biggest movement from left to right? Elizabeth Warren. Nerds for Yang. That's right, Casa Station. I forgot to add the nerds for Yang. Elizabeth Warren went from 44.4 to 48. Biden dropped. He went in the wrong direction. He went left. You don't want to go left. You want to move to the right. So he went from 56.6 to 55.8. It's probably within the margin of error, though. So I'm not sure I would read in too much that little slight drop. Bernie had another slight drop, or maybe he was the same. Let's see. Buttigieg went from 21 to 24. About 2 percentage points. No, Warren still had a bigger jump. She had almost 3.6 percentage point jump. And then Yang had, a 1.7% percentage point jump. So about a 10% jump from 9.1 to 10.8. So Yang did help himself. And then Julian Castro, he went left, but he didn't drop that much. I think Julian supporters are kind of with him. And they're probably not going to move off until he leaves. And then hopefully they move to us. So big takeaway. If you're a Warren fan, she had the best night. If you're a Buttigieg fan, he had a pretty solid night. And if you're a Yang fan, yeah, he had a good night. But so did Booker, and so did Beto. The big loser was probably Biden and Castro. If I had to pick between the two, I would imagine Castro was a bigger loser. Okay, next. All right, this is one that I have showed in a previous stream, but since many of you were not there, I'm going to show it again. Okay, so this is a cool chart. On the left-hand side, you'll see all of the candidates, and then across the columns, you'll see which other candidate is being considered by the people on the left. So for Biden, you see 17% of Biden voters are considering Booker. Who is the biggest overlap with Biden supporters? They are also looking at Warren. In fact, if you look across all of these freaking candidates, Warren is generally the top second choice. Ugh. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. She's our competition, nerds. It's going to come down to Yang and Warren. That's how it's going to go down if I had to make some predictions. She's pulling it from everyone. And then you could ask yourself, well, who is Yang attractive to? For other candidates, Yang, 29% of Castro people are also considering Andrew MF Yang. Okay. 22% of Cloby voters are thinking Yang. And 19% of Booker voters are thinking Yang. But my God, most of them are thinking Warren. And then for Yang, Kamasama 0603, throw some mud at her. Well, I don't know. Let's not take out the sharp knives yet. We have our concerns about Warren. I mean, my biggest concern of Warren is that the general election. Can you imagine Trump supporters going for Warren, or will they say, well, the same reason they didn't vote for Hillary, maybe they won't vote for Warren because Warren seems too kind of elitist, whereas Yang is more of an everyday man, and he too hates the Patriots, which will win 90% of the country. But who is Yang potentially vulnerable to? Well, for one thing, if you look here, Yang has 42% of Yang supporters would consider mostly 42% Biden, but our biggest one is Sanders and Warren. So if you guys are in the Nerds for Yang channel now, this poll predicts that you are probably open to Warren and Sanders. And who are you least open to? You are least open to Cloby. You're not open to Castro. Is that accurate? Well, there's some people that are saying Yang or bust, but many of you probably would consider Sanders or Warren, and you're not feeling Cloby or Castro, which I think describes myself. Although I'm not really feeling Biden either, or Booker, or Buttigieg. Hopefully our boy Yang gets there. All right, so that's kind of cool. I think the takeaway is freaking Warren is pulling from everyone, and we could maybe pull from Castro or Booker, and Sanders and Warren are pulling from us. All right. This is the favorability rating before and after see? Tula's mom tan. Yeah, she agrees. I tell you. Freaking Warren, I don't know. I think Trump would have a field day with her. Okay, but let's look at this is not who they think won the debate or who they think lost the debate, but what is your favorability of this candidate before the debate? And then they take another poll. What is your favorability of this candidate? And who had the biggest change? Freaking Beto. Oh my God. Remember when we thought that fine fella was done and he was Audi 5000? Beto had a huge jump from 23.9% favorable to 32.5%. Remember, everybody was like, oh, Beto, I have so much respect for you. I mean, I get it. I get that he's taken a hard stand on gun control, and I respect that, but it doesn't change the fact that Beto is still a pretty lightweight candidate. And I think, does anybody think Beto would do well mano a mano with Trump? I don't think so. I think he would. I don't think that would end well. Warren, okay, she had plus 7.5. That's not surprising. We knew that. Klobuchar had a boost in favorability. What? Oh my God. She went from 8 to 14. Buttigieg went up. Yang really didn't move up that much. He went up 2 percentage points in favorability. Now, this is where, we can have the debate, but the debate about the debate. But I think this is where he had two things might not have helped him. One was the giveaway offer at the beginning. I know people wrote about it in the news. I know it drove a lot of signups, but I mean, you look at the favorability numbers, that didn't go up. And I also think and we've talked about this on Twitter, but I think we need to kind of dial down the number of kind of tongue-in-cheek Asian stereotype jokes like, oh, I'm Asian, I know a lot of doctors, I'm Asian, I like to work, I'm fine with the opposite of Trump is an Asian man who likes math. I think that's a great one. It kind of shows that he doesn't take himself too seriously. But if every answer he drops in an Asia bomb, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's helping us. So that's that chart. Takeaway is freaking Beto had the biggest boost in favorability change. And Warren and Kloby, I was surprised. Kloby, I didn't really think she was that strong. Do you guys remember anything that Klobuchar said? Oh, did she say, you may have wrote the damn bill, but I read the damn bill? I don't know. I didn't think that was that good. Okay, next. Who spoke the most? Biden, 3,000 words, and Yang, less than half of Biden. But you know what's interesting? You don't need to say a lot of words because Beto had this big boost and he only spoke 1,700 words. I mean, I think maybe the biggest takeaway here is that it wasn't the kind of crazy mismatch that you saw with NBC's debate when, it felt like Yang had like a quarter of what the other candidates had. And so, I think Yang, not shocked that he spoke the least, wish he spoke more, but it wasn't like he was 1/10 of the top speaker, just about half. Now, this is a really cool chart. On the left-hand side is the number of words spoken, and on the right-hand side is the polling support. So here, you could argue that the person who's polling the most should get to speak the most. So if you're polling around 30, you should be way up here. And then the person who's polling the least should speak the least. Well, in this case, Yang kind of meets that criteria. So what's interesting about this chart? What's interesting about this chart is if you are polling very little, but you're talking a lot. Look at Cory Booker. My God, that guy's like reading a Shakespearean play, and he's basically polling almost the same as Andrew. So he's almost like around this like 0 to 3% range. But dude spoke 2,750 words versus Yang's 1,500-ish. Beto spoke a little bit more, but he kind of stayed in his lane to some extent. And then Bernie kind of like underspoke, because you could argue if you have a diagonal line here, then Bernie should be a little higher. He should have spoken more like 2,100, 2,200. Instead, he spoke about 1,800 words. And then you've got Harris and Warren kind of speaking a little bit more than they should have, but not too much. I would say the biggest outlier is Cory Booker. Castro, look at Castro. He's to the left of Yang in terms of less polling support, but spoke over 2,100 words versus Yang's 1,600. So you got Castro, less polling support, way more words. Beto, similar polling support, more words. Amy Klobuchar, less polling support, way more words. So I don't think people heard enough from Yang compared to other candidates, and I think that then makes it harder for him to rise in the polls. Okay, next chart. Who talked the most about Trump? Harris, which was interesting because we knew she was going to be Ms. Prosecutor. And now we know that her target was Trump. It's getting late. And then the second was Castro. He was just on the attack for everybody. That's interesting. Yang only mentioned Trump twice, and Klobuchar didn't at all. And Warren only mentioned Trump once, and Buttigieg and Biden. That's kind of interesting that they chose not to. I think that those were the 7. These are the topics of the debate. First debate and second and third, what you see here, I'll make this a little bigger for you all. So first debate and second and third, healthcare is like huge. And this is one of those things where you wish maybe Yang had more interesting healthcare ideas, because clearly people want to talk about it. The second most talked about thing was foreign policy, which didn't get much talk in the second debate. And then another big one was guns, obviously, because of current events. And then education came up big versus the first debate, which was mostly healthcare, immigration, and Trump. And then the second debate was healthcare, Trump, and immigration. And that's interesting. Yeah, the third debate, I don't think we talked about immigration that much. All right. Well, I think with that said, I will take a quick look at the polls. And then if you guys have any questions or you want to talk about anything, you can put it in the chat. But let's take a look. You guys are talking about some new polls coming out. So let's take a look, see. Load it. Oh, this isn't the nice summary that I like. Hold on. This is a nice summary. Come on. Here we go. So you got the latest morning consult. Ooh, we're 3. Freaking Beto moved up. He was on his last legs before that debate. Now he's at 4. We're at 3, tied with Booker, ahead of Klobuchar, Gabbard, Castro. What else is? Harris is only 6. Wow. Harris, Buttigieg, O'Rourke, Yang, Booker. I mean, this group here, that's all kind of the same kettle of fish now. And then you've got Biden, Warren, and Sanders still kind of really way ahead of that's clearly your first tier, Biden, Warren, Sanders. I think what's most interesting is Harris used to claim this 4th position, and now she doesn't. So all in all, I would say not great news, but not terrible. Now let's look at some other, that's the national polls. I think you guys were talking about some more recent polls. Maybe was it California? Is that what you guys want to look at? California? Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, what have we here? What have we here? Oh, mama. Whoa, all these ads. I do not want insurance. 999. Okay. So in California, which is on March 3rd and has a boatload of delegates, you've got Biden 26, Sanders 26, Warren 20, Harris, who we remember is a freaking senator from the state of California. Oh, who is this in my video? Get away, bad man. Harris is the senator from California and is only at 6. Buttigieg is 4. Andrew Yang is 7. So we are freaking number 4 in California, ahead of their senator, ahead of the oh so great Buttigieg, ahead of I'm making a comeback O'Rourke, way ahead of I speak too much Booker, and ahead of I'm mean Castro. And I don't know why I'm insulting all these other candidates. I'm sorry to the rest of the field. It's late. I'm kind of grumpy. So A+ on you guys calling out California. But let's be real, New York, which is technically Yang's home state, Yang's at 1. So that's not fantastic. But California, I think, has more delegates and it comes earlier. So maybe that's more important. And then we talked about the morning consult one. I think that's it. But let's look into see if the Emerson one has any more details for us so we can get some more data. Data? Oh, look at that beautiful visualization. You know, I don't think we've ever seen a chart where we're number 4. Let's just soak that in, guys. That's a beautiful thing. Biden, Sanders, Warren, Yang. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did we just pass you, Harris, in your state? Oh, Beto, so sorry. Oh, look, they break it down even further. Let's see. Let's see if they mention Yang in the rest of this article. Yang. Younger voters under 50, Yang at 11. But Sanders is 34, Warren 18, Biden 16, Yang at 11. That's nice with the youngsters. And then I think that's the only other time they talked about us. Because, you know, the media, they don't like to talk about our boy that much, even though he's 4th. Okay. You guys want to take a quick look at betting odds, and then we take some questions and then wrap her up? Let's do it. I know you guys like Predict It, so we'll do that. I think you guys like it because it's more favorable than election betting odds. We're number 4. Ooh, yeah, but down a little. That's good. Let's see. So 4th nationally. Okay. What about in Iowa? Iowa 5th, no change in the betting odds. New Hampshire. Ooh, New Hampshire still 4th. Nice, but down a little bit. What about South Carolina? Ooh, not looking good in South Carolina. 6th, tied with Booker. I don't buy that. I actually think we're going to do way better in South Carolina than people expect. I'm going to predict we're going to be a surprise number 4, number 3 in South Carolina. All right. And then we'll lastly see if there's any questions before we wrap up. Any questions, guys? Anything you want to talk about that we haven't already? Hit me up in the comments, in the little chat box. My Vang says a lot of people in South Carolina don't know who Yang is. Oh, but they will. They will when we surprise people in Iowa and New Hampshire. I agree, they don't yet. You want to look at, I don't know who Fly Stevie is, but should we look quickly at Google Trends, search trends? Oh, Tula's mom asked, how was son Ryan's race? Since you guys asked, he did great. I'll show you a picture. You guys want to see a picture of my son? Well, I'm going to show you whether you want to or not, because that's what dads do. Okay, this is a picture. He's in the middle. Now I'll be honest. He's not the tallest cross-country runner in this race. But those kids in front of him were in high school, and he's like in 6th grade. And I'll show you one more, and then I'll go back to well, we can look at Google Trends if you want. And then by the way, these are pictures taken by a Google Pixel phone, which the phone is ridiculous. It's so good. Whoops, the camera's making it blurry. Well, there you go. Look at that. That was taken in the Black Forest of Germany. Okay. Now, so any of you guys, that, by the way, I think there's a high correlation of cross-country runners and nerddom. But, you know, I'm just saying. All right, let's do quick Google Trends. Google Trends. Let's look at some more data. Some more data. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. We're going to look at the past 7 days. In the U.S., looks like, who's this green? Harris. Oh, she had a lot of searches for her after that debate. Let's say past custom range. Let's go from the debate forward. Yeah. Oh, Beto had a lot of searches in the last few days. And then Yang, and then Harris, and then Buttigieg. Look at Yang, man. He's a West Coast party here. Ain't no party like a West Coast party, because a West Coast party don't stop. He's got Washington, Oregon, California. He's doing well in New York. In terms of people searching for him, Minnesota. But unfortunately, in Iowa, oh yeah, we're doing well in Iowa too, 31%. Let me give you guys a bigger screen. And then, the #1 search, Shane Gillis. Yeah, well, we won't be searching for him anymore. And Pete Buttigieg. Why does everybody want to search for people's height? So weird. How tall is Andrew Yang? Pete Buttigieg height. Seriously, bros? Is Beto a felon? I'm pretty sure he's not a felon, but that's what people are searching for. Kamala, why do they care about her parents? And is she married? Weird searches, but that's what people are searching for. What about on the YouTube searches? Oh yeah, the blue, which is Yang, he is the candidate of YouTube. Let's just be honest. And then Beto is #2. I mean, we could add Joe Biden here. We probably should include him since he technically is a current front runner. Ooh, look, a lot of people were searching for Biden on YouTube. What were they searching for? Let's see. Where are you, Mr. Biden? Searching for what? Biden teeth. What? Why would they be searching for his teeth? Dentures. Record player. Oh, that was his little gaffe. It's very interesting to see. What about web searches with Biden? Oh yeah, Biden won the web search war as well. And And on the web searches, what are they searching for? Record player. Yeah, I think some of the searches for Biden may not have been very favorable. Whereas for old Yangster, I think his are generally favorable, except for the Shane Gillis thing. All right. Well, I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions before we wrap up our stream? If you do, now's the time to type it in. Got the mic here, got the nice new high resolution camera, got my nice IKEA furniture. And do you think UBI will make the okay, wow, we got some questions now. All right, hold on 1 second. Do you think UBI will make the US economy depression proof? No, I don't. I could see it making it it could dampen the effects of a recession and make it a little bit more, let's call it recession resistant. But not proof. Depressions are when people stop spending money. They may not spend their UBI. They may keep it. It's kind of like a psychological thing. I don't know if we can avoid it. Next. What does Yang need to do at the next debate? Honestly, I think he needs to be a little more assertive and maybe don't honor the time, because Warren clearly went over continuously and nothing happened to her. That's the one thing I have to give credit to CNN. They said, if you go over, we're going to deduct your time from future questions. But I don't think ABC did that. So I think he needs to talk more. I know there's a lot of disagreement. I think he needs to kind of ease off on the Asian jokes. I think it's this, they're not that funny too. It's fine, but it's not that funny. And also I think it turns off a lot of conservative voters who misinterpret it as issue or identity politics. Okay, next question. Oh, Andrew's saying people are searching for Kamala Harris's parents because her own father wrote an article about her being a race hustler. I don't even know what a race hustler is, but that doesn't sound good. Vixel, what have you been reading? I will show you. If you guys have heard of this book, if you haven't, I recommend it. It's heavy. It's not a light read. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And basically, he kind of agrees with Yang. This guy's brilliant. He's written 5 books in the last few years. And he basically kind of maps out how the world's evolving and how we're not currently set up for it. And one of the big things he talks about is automation and a data-driven economy. And the one thing that Yuval Harari talks about in particular is we are moving from an economy between the haves versus the have-nots to those who have data and those who no longer are able to be as useful to the economy because they're being automated away. So it's kind of depressing. I'm hoping at some point we're going to get into this book where he talks about solutions. But you know what? You gotta keep it real, and he makes some good arguments. Can Yang still win? Hell yeah, dude. He's past Harris, and he's past Beto, and he's number 4 in California. Yeah, that's got to count for something. And he's gonna probably surprise people in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. I don't think he's gonna win top 3 in Iowa and New Hampshire, but maybe that'll be his surprise in South Carolina. If he gets 3rd in South Carolina, remember, you heard it on Nerds for Yang. If he doesn't get 3rd, it's just some guy on the internet. Next question. My house looks great. Well, it's got IKEA. A lot of IKEA. Thank you, Shauna. And thank you for moderating last stream, Shauna. As a lot of IKEA, but that little animal, shoot, it's like a weather forecaster. What the? This animal is hand carved. I got that on a safari in Africa. It's carved out of wood, but it's very beautiful. Why do I live abroad? Well, I work for a very large American tech company, and we have an engineering office here in Switzerland because we need to attract all the best engineers in the world, and some of them live in Europe and don't want to move to Silicon Valley. So we move the office out here to benefit from their talents. Tula's mom, Tan, loves the new camera. I'm glad. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if some of you I know saw the live stream with Paget, and her camera is amazing. And like I have like a cheapo little webcam, but it's better than the one built into the laptop. And I was like, man, I probably should, kind of upgrade the camera. So I did that. Thanks for all you do. What will you do after the elections? For one thing, I'm going to celebrate that we have Andrew Yang in the White House. And that's going to be a historic, amazing event. And I can't wait for my sons, for my family, for America. Freaking awesome. The second thing is, depending on this channel, I may keep it going because I love politics. And even if Yang's in the White House, we're going to be talking about political issues of the day and maybe relationships with Congress and hard kind of complex topics that require charts. So hopefully I can do that. Take camera outside sometime. Well, I could, but it's nighttime here, so you guys would just see the darkness. But maybe in the future, one of these mornings, if you guys want, I'll show you outside. It's so beautiful. I live like in this like farm hilly area, and it's like the sound of music, man. It's just so gorgeous out here. If you like mountains and blue skies and trees and birds and clean air, you should check out Switzerland. They got a lot of that. Will Pete's new controversy knock him out? What's the controversy now? Is it that he did something like with the race relations, or I think I heard something about him getting money or something with his donors. Personally, I don't think this new controversy is going to knock him out. I think he's just going to fizzle out on his own, and Yang's going to pass him. Have I seen Yang mentioned in the Swiss news? No, but I work with people from all over Europe, and a French person said, Tom, you won't believe it. You know that guy you were talking about? He was mentioned on the French like primetime news, and they were talking about him as like the hope, because they kind of, the French are not big fans of Trump. They don't feel like he's super smart. And so they think this Yang guy is a little better. And my barber, the hair cutting lady, she's Swiss. And she said to me, oh, have you been following the election? And I was like, oh, a little bit. And she said, you know, there's a candidate named Patrick Chang. And I said, I think you mean Andrew Yang, but that's pretty darn close. So, at any rate, are you the same guy that makes YouTube tutorial content for creators? I make some videos for YouTube tutorial content. That's my day job, but this is my personal channel. So I don't try not to mix those two. But yes, that's me. What was this question? Andrew Smith, thoughts on Andy No attack? I don't know anything about that. I can Google it though. I'm sure, Andrew, you seem to find all the controversies. Let me see. What's the next question? Do you think Yang has become overly memeified? Nah, he's okay. I mean, I think it's kind of fun, but I've never been like. I think it's reached a point of diminishing returns where more memes are not going to help us. Have I read The War on Normal People? I have, and I actually don't read that much anymore. I do mostly audiobooks, and I read The War on Normal People, and it was cool because it was narrated by Andrew. Does it offend me that the mainstream media sees UBI giveaway as a joke? No, I'm not offended by it. I think it is one of those things where even if you're a reasonable person, it may come across when you first hear about it as like, well, that can't be for real. But then when you think about it more and you kind of do some research, it starts making more and more sense the more you learn. So I think they're going through that like 7 phases of Yang as well. And there's probably some implicit bias there, but they'll get over it. Do you think Yang campaign has any plan to reach the Asian American community? A lot of Asian Americans still think he's a gimmick, don't even know of his existence. Well, I think they're going to know about him. I mean, in a way, Obama had a lot of trouble with African American voters until he started doing well, and then they. I presume you mean Asian American, not African American. But I think both are. He's not doing as well, but. Aaron, let's see what watch you're wearing. Well, I've been wearing this one the last several streams. Oh, but you haven't seen it with the nice camera. This is a Italian diving watch that the military used to issue to their version of Navy SEALs. So you can see it says Marina Militare, which is Navy. It's gigantic, I know, but it's kind of cool. It has that like vintage feel to it. Who do I think Yang will pick? I hope he picks Warren because I think that will get us elected. How large is your watch collection? I have a few. I've always loved watches, and when you live in Switzerland, you kind of feel like you have to have some. So probably own like 4 or 5 pretty decent ones, and it's a weakness I have. And if I get my UBI, some of it will go towards the watch collection. Re-elect Andrea. How can I help you? Moderating anything? Well, right now, I think in the future when we have future streams, this chat seems pretty clean, but I would love to consider getting your help with moderation. And for video editing, I think I'm okay. I also might need help with research when I do future videos, but I usually tweet it out or I post it as in the community tab when I need help. By the way, some of you are asking wondering about Brandon. He's on a field trip, a multi-night field trip where they're going hiking or something in the mountains. Let's see, what other questions? Oh, I know, Shauna. I know I got you as a moderator for sure. Tula's Montana. You want to see Switzerland? Okay. Well, I'll show you if you really want to see Switzerland. I'll show you a couple quick pictures from my amazing Google Pixel phone, which, if I haven't mentioned to you before, my wife has an iPhone 10. That phone is a piece of crap. The camera is garbage compared to the Pixel. Okay, let me show you 1 or 2 photos of Switzerland, and then I'll take some more questions. Oh, for crying out loud. I have so many random photos. I don't have a lot of landscape. Let me see. Mountains. The Google photo search. Okay. Oh, this is a great picture. This is on a weekend. I took my kids to the river by where we live. And then he just brought his book and his little bag and was reading comics by the river. I mean, I tell you, man, this is what boyhood is all about. And I'll show you one more, and then we'll get back to on topic. Okay. Here is my other son playing by the same river. And you guys remember Daisy, my dog? She was running in the river. So we live kind of in a nice rural area. But yes, Lucia, it is very expensive. Okay, next question. How do you think Yang would fare in a GOP primary? Well, I think he would get his ass kicked because Trump is locked in and the Republican Party is behind him shoulder to shoulder. It's freaking like cultish. So now the question would be, how would he do in a non-Trump primary? He probably would appeal to the libertarian wing of the Republican Party. Casa, who is Patrick Chang? Apparently, according to my Swiss barber, Patrick Chang is Andrew Yang. So he goes by many names. I don't know what the average IQ for Americans is, but I'm pretty sure Yang's is high. How do we get Yang on Howard Stern? That's a good question. I think that would be a really interesting interview. Kind of reminds me of maybe like H3H3. Of course, they're not the same as Stern, but they like those long form interviews. You could always tweet at Howard and see if you can get him to do it. I would retweet that. Next question. You used to be conservative. Do you believe in big government? No, I don't. I believe that government should be as small as possible, but still needs to fulfill certain duties, which obligate it to be bigger than I would like. So I do feel like we need a strong healthcare system, and therefore you can't get away from a big sort of government. But what I love about UBI is that you don't have to hire a bunch of government bureaucrats to plan for us. We just get the money and we do what we want with it. Let's see other questions. Do I support Yang Gang sending out mailers? I support Yang Gang doing whatever it can to spread the word. I would love to see more physical stuff. So I travel to the US for work a lot, and I haven't seen that many like signs, and I would love to see more of those, but I don't know. I know Fred is wrapping his truck, I think. I know I paid money to the GoFundMe. I hope he gets the wrap there soon. Hey, first time here. Welcome, first timer Taki. I think Warren would be the best. I like personally Tulsi the most, but I think in terms of winning the White House, Warren would be great. Let's see. Raquel, hey dad. I am a dad. How is the weather? Beautiful. It's like 70 Fahrenheit. It looks like a transformer. Oh, the watch. Kind of. Yeah, it's got a rubber strap. Let's see. Next question. Oh, Tula's mom, you're a watch addict. Very nice. Yes, it's a great collection. You know who else is a watch collector? Ellen. If you watch the Ellen show, she always has sweet watches. She's got a lot more money than we do. Ooh, Neil's a Patek man. Yeah, Pateks is just so expensive. I actually don't even like them that much. I'm working on a Grand Seiko as my next edition. Okay, I have not heard anything else about the Ted Cruz basketball thing. How would UBI work for expats? I don't think we would get it when we're overseas, but it would collect, and when we come back, we would get it. Like we would get back pay. I don't think they want us to take the UBI and spend it, in Switzerland or like retire in like a low cost country with the American UBI. And that seems fair to me. I don't mind waiting for it. Oh, thank you for asking, Tan. Wendy is feeling better. She's doing better. I'll tell her you said hi. What do I like most about Elizabeth Warren? She's really smart. She's tough. But I don't think she's as likable as Yang. I don't know if I want to have like dinner with her. I feel like it would be good, but I don't think I could really like kick back and curse a little with Warren. I feel like she's like my professor that would kind of like I'd get in trouble. Whereas Yang, we know he's okay with a little cursing here and there. Wonder when Yang is going to talk to Shane Gillis. I don't know. I hope they do talk. I think Shane's got some going through stuff, and might be good for him. Kind of talk, see a person, an Asian person that can speak English, fluently. Michael says pigs of Switzerland makes us jealous. I love it. I love it. The beauty of here, but it's not perfect. I mean, I miss the food in the US, like especially Asian food. There's like very little good Asian food here. Yes, Tan, your iPhone, it does not compare to the Pixel 3. And you take pictures. My wife and I take pictures, and now with her iPhone 10, she doesn't even bother taking it. She's like, "Oh, this camera sucks. Can we use the Pixel?" Let's see. Do they scoff at watches in Switzerland? Oh, iWatches. No, I see people wearing the digital watches. I just don't find them as soulful as a mechanical watch. How'd you first hear about Yang? Like a lot of you guys, Joe Rogan from YouTube recommendation. Can Jersey beat that steering? Well, there are parts of New Jersey that are beautiful, but Swiss Alps and the lake are pretty cool. Seattle has some beautiful parts too, though. I lived in Seattle for 15 years. Have you ever taken photography? No, but I take some wicked pictures with this phone. Let me just show you one more. I mean, look at this, dude. Look at this. This is at a nearby lake. Come on, flip over. I mean, what the heck? Crazy. So beautiful. And the air is so clean because they don't have a lot of like factories and stuff, This is me and Wendy, my wife. Very nice lady. Very lucky man. All right. Yeah, the Suns are lucky. If I were a little boy, I would totally. You know who's the luckiest? My dog, Daisy. Daisy freaking loves it here because she loves to run in the hills and stuff. Let's see. What would be a really excellent future model for a society? Oh, magic mushroom eater. That's a great question. I'll tell you what. I think the way the economy is evolving, where fewer and fewer people are connected to more and more value creation because of science and technology, we're going to have to rethink how work works. And not everyone is going to need to work full time. But at the same time, the people who do work a lot, who get those plum jobs, are going to make check. They're going to make bank. And so that's why UBI, in my opinion, is like the only logical next step. What is your favorite book? Wow. You know, I'm a political junkie. So Game Change, which was about, I think that was about the McCain, Sarah Palin campaign. And it was kind of cool to go behind the scenes. You asked Paget if she would join the Yang administration. Would you? You know, I actually had a conversation with my wife, Wendy, about this. And I said, you know, we started this YouTube channel because we want to support this cool long shot candidate. We love underdogs. He seems so smart. We know it's a lot. The odds are against us. But now that we're in the top 5 and in California, top 4, who knows? This guy could actually go all the way because it's harder. It will be harder to win the Democratic nomination than it will be to win the general, in my opinion. Whoever wins the Democratic nomination will have a very good shot in the general, unless your name is Joe Biden. Yeah. Really. Sanders, Warren, if they got it, I think they would probably win. But I think Yang has the best chance of winning if he had the general. So to answer your question, would I join? I think it depends on the role, but I would definitely be open to doing anything I could to help. I mean, we'd be making history, all of us. Do you have an iWatch? I do. I don't wear it because I have a very good phone, and I feel like the watch is my only like kind of like special crafted things where people still did stuff with their hands. Okay, next question. What is the question? Oh, Alice. Yeah, big dial. Yeah, it's also good if you're getting older and you don't have as good eyesight, and it has beautiful illumination. Craig Rogers. Yes, I did say Grand Seiko. Snowflake. Grand Seiko. When do you think we get to meet Evelyn? You know, that's a great question because now that Yang's keeps rising, it's only a matter of time before people will want to meet the spouse. And obviously, Melania didn't play a huge role in the Trump campaign, but she did go to events and stuff. And so not only would I love to see Evelyn, but also his 2 boys. You know, I think that would be kind of fun. At the same time, I want to be respectful because you got to imagine how hard it is on that family. This guy's on the road 24/7. And I think he gets weekends off, but it's a huge sacrifice. So whenever you see Andrew and you see him so energized and so pumped up, know that let's just remember, he's making a big sacrifice for all of us. I mean, he doesn't need to do that. He's not making money. So it's tough, man. I feel for him. So for me, just making some YouTube videos, I can do that and have a full-time job, but I get to see my family every day. Okay, let's see. Did I sign up for the raffle? I don't think so. Because I'm already like on all their lists and I give a monthly recurring donation. The Snowflake is your grail. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch. I'll tell you a little secret. I actually have it. And I can't show it to you because I need to hit a certain performance review score at work in order to take it out of the box. This is how I control myself from buying too many watches. I have to have like a career accomplishment. And my boss has not given me the score because he's a very demanding boss. Anyway, on to the next topic. Am I a Nets fan? No, I'm a Seahawks fan. I don't really follow basketball, but I don't like the Warriors because I don't like teams that just win all the time. And the Patriots just like gross. BTS Dance Studio, welcome. First timer. Yang was on the N Higa podcast. I think I listened to that one. Yes. I think I listened. That was pretty good. Although I will say that interview, was from someone who didn't know anything about Yang. And so for us Yang Gang, it was a little bit kind of remedial. Are there homeless people? Very, very few. Part of it is that the government has a safety net for unemployed people where you can basically afford a house and to feed yourself. And the average wage, even for like a waiter, is like $40 an hour. It results in when you go to a restaurant, you pay like $20 for a hamburger. And I used to be pissed about that. But the reality is that the people making the food in the kitchen, the people that picked the lettuce, that made the bread, that worked in the, slaughterhouse, they all got living wages. And that's the reality. I mean, that's the thing with this whole trade war too. We Americans have benefited from extremely low prices that, in my opinion, are subsidized by two things: undocumented workers and low cost trade with low labor cost countries like China. So if we want to not be as dependent on other countries, and we want people to make living wages, we have to A, be willing to have less stuff, and B, be willing to pay more for stuff. And I know that's like, this is not like going to win me any popularity contest, but I think that's just the only way. Like, if you want ultra cheap things, then you have to be okay buying a whole lot of stuff from China. And you have to be okay having a lot of the things that you're eating and using and services you're getting fulfilled by people who are not making a living wage. Anyway, that's my view. What other questions do you guys have? Oh, Michael says there will be an office of technology. Yeah, if he wants me to work in the office of technology and, hopefully it's a role that would be challenging, I would totally be down for it. My wife is a little worried that we'd have to move to DC, but I was like, yo, if Andrew MF Yang is president, we will move. So, Andrew, if you see this years from now when you're in the White House looking for your technology team, you give me a call, bro. Okay, next. Grand Seiko, did it come with the GTR? You mean a Nissan GTR car? No, but that would be awesome. If you're talking about Godzilla, if I'm thought maybe I don't really get your reference. Halloween with Yang would be a great intro. Yeah, I think anything would be, but I think the question is like, maybe he wants to keep his family more private, and maybe our president shouldn't have to put his whole family out there. I think as a human, I would like to get to know him and his family better, but as a dad and a husband, I respect if they want more space. Favorite MMA fighter? I don't watch MMA, and it's kind of interesting that that Yang does. It's kind of not a very, I don't think it's a mainstream sport, MMA, but maybe it's become one. Let's see, what other questions? $40 an hour. Yeah, it is 40. Well, where in Switzerland? I bet Switzerland's pretty small. So you can pretty much go, Geneva, Bern, Basel, all that stuff pretty easily. The other questions. Do you own a math hat? I do, but I lost it. In fact, when I interviewed Scott Santons, he was wearing it, and I spent 10 minutes looking through my house to find it. But I am going to be getting some Nerds for Yang merch which hopefully you guys will consider as well. If you haven't, you can go there. The address is there, tinyurl.com/NFY merch. And I've got a bunch of t-shirts. They're all sold at cost. Let's see. If Yang were to require his 10 recipients to disclose how they spend the money, do you think he could avoid the FEC blowback? No, I think he would get FEC blowback no matter what. But, he's a smart guy. Either, he's taking that chance. What product do I work on? I work on YouTube, on creator tools. If you guys are any YouTube creators out there, if you are mad about the studio beta, that's pretty much my project. I do not watch animes, nor do I read mangas, but I heard people love it. I guess the closest thing is I like to watch old Godzilla movies. And I introduced the old ones to my son for the first time. Blew his mind. Like Mothra and stuff. So cool. How does he plan to fund democracy dollars? Here's the thing. I thought that said Cory Booker for a second. Cody Barker. I think it's $100 per adult. All right. And there's 200 million, maybe call it, or so adults. So if you gave them each $10, it would be 2 billion. So $100 would be 20 billion. 20 billion is not a lot of money. As an example, our current federal government spends, the budget is something like 2 trillion. So democracy dollars are one of the cheapest programs to fund. Do you think Yang will accept corporate money in the general? Sorry, guys. Do I think Yang will accept corporate money in the general? Do you think it will affect him? I have mixed feelings on this because it would piss me off if Trump took a lot of corporate money and outspent Yang. I hope that people power will offset the corporate money. And I would be okay if Yang decided to accept corporate money in the general. I wouldn't love it, but if he had to compete, that's kind of like until we have democracy dollars, like he might have to. I don't know what the November debate criteria will be, but if the DNC gets their way, they're going to try and narrow it further. So I guess it used to be 2%. Maybe they'll make it 3%. That would be interesting. If they made it 3%, it would be bye-bye Castro and bye-bye Booker. Maybe bye-bye Yang. Can you imagine? That would be a death blow to us, though, if we don't get in the debates. All right, next question. Why don't you sell the merch a bit higher and donate proceeds to the campaign? I thought about it. So as you guys, some of you know, the merch is sold at cost. I don't make any money because I don't want to be accused of like profiting from the channel. But I could price it higher and get a profit, but then I would have to give the proceeds to the Yang campaign, and I think it would get me into some weird FEC trouble. Like I would be accepting money from people and then like redonating it. And then I might hit like my cap because I have been giving pretty aggressively to the campaign. So I decided just price it at a cost. But if you guys want to give money to the campaign, you guys know what's coming. Boom. We're at over the halfway mark. And let me share with you guys. I almost forgot. Do you guys have a minute? All right, for those of you who can stay for another minute, let me show you something really cool. Really cool. Just stand by. I think I'm done too. Yeah. Share screen. Okay. So if you go to YouTube, my channel. Oh, by the way, there's like a little nerdling, this young guy. Have you guys seen this guy? He goes over a lot of charts too. I love it. More the merrier. Okay, but here, I have started collecting questions for the Yang interview because we're almost at 50% of the money of the 20K. So here are the top voted questions so far. What do you think about points system for immigration? Tulsi as VP. Do you speak to Obama? How are you planning to pay for Medicare for all? Is freedom deficit neutral? What would you do to for Muslim Americans? Peace in the Middle East, H-1B visas. So you guys can all vote on this. I think I made a tiny URL for this one. I think it's NFY questions, maybe? Is that it? No, that's the questions from the last time. I thought I made one. For Yang. All right, well, I didn't make a tiny URL for you guys. I will make another one later. But if you want to go and find it, just go to the YouTube channel and then click on Community tab. And right now, it's the first post and it's linked to here. And you can propose questions that I should ask Andrew or vote up the ones you like. And then since we were talking about merch, NFY merch. Wait a minute, I have more than this. Show all. Yeah. The current bestseller is this guy. This guy is the bestseller, which I think is quite nice. It's like very plain. Okay, next question. Does Tom work for YouTube? I do during the day. I try not to talk about work on Nerds for Yang. And part of the reason is we need to be really clear. This is not my day job is my day job. This is my personal channel. I do it at home, on my free time. My work and my political support do not mix. Okay. Nothing I say here is reviewed or approved by my employer. Completely personal. All right, next question. Lot of Klobuchar gone? I don't think she's gone. What? Have you guys heard this? Let's see. Amy Kloby. News. Says here she's going to go to the Blue Wall States. I don't see anything saying that she's gone. You guys may be a little wishful thinking. That would have been exciting, though. I don't know how many of her supporters would come to us. Yeah, no, I don't think she's gone. Maybe this is one of those things, maybe Twitter knows ahead of the news. Amy Cloby. Let's see, she would have announced it on which one? Which blue check mark is she? Amy or Sen Amy? No, 1 hour ago, she's talking about the Vikings, which are a good team. No. She ain't gone, dudes. You guys hope she were gone. No, bye, Felicia. Let's see. Did I see the report on Buttigieg? No, he took money from some people. I don't think that's going to stick. I think his supporters love him. I think he's just going to have to fade out over time. I think we are pretty much done with questions. I'm scrolling through. Yeah, okay. Everybody agrees Klobuchar's not gone. All right. Well, I've been on this thing for an hour and a half, and Wendy's probably going to be pissed. I will wrap up with some more pictures just because whatever. It's late, and I love showing pictures. You guys want to see some pictures from Africa? Oh, before I show you Africa, you won't believe this. This is look at that. Crazy. Matterhorn, man. Jim wants to see more pics. All right, I'll show you. So we're not going to talk about politics anymore. It's pretty much done, but I'll show you a couple more pics if you guys are willing to take a look. I'll show you my pictures from Africa, which were ridiculous. Ridiculous. So cool. Okay. That's the fam. Mother and boys. That's in this kind of Toyota Land Cruiser type thing. Why is that so blurry? There we go. Mother and son looking out the Land Cruiser. Look at that, dude. Those are freaking elephants in you rarely see elephants in deep grassy like watering hole looking thing. That right there is an elephant. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. This is kind of inverse. That's me and my oldest son, Ryan. That's Ryan sitting. This is a monkey. And I thought it was funny because they looked like they were kind of, son of a gun. They look like they're kind of in the same pose, doesn't it? Look at that. That's the son. That's a damn monkey. We're very related. That is just like a beautiful kind of sun setting. These are the two boys with their little binoculars looking for warthogs. Christina, I went to Kenya in Africa. Wife. Look at that. Freaking elephant. Let me tell you something. If you've seen elephants in the wild like this, and then you go to a zoo and you see elephants in a zoo, those elephants in the zoo are not happy, man. I've now seen happy elephants, and they're well fed. They walk hours and hours a day, long distances. Those zoos are like little prisons. It's very sad. Look at that. That's a rhinoceros. Oh, wow. There's still people on the stream. You guys, it's like Nerds for Yang with the little bonus bonus animal thing. This is us. We had like a little dinner like by a campfire. Oh, look at that. Little warthogs. Oh, look at Brandon. You guys probably have seen Brandon. He's a cutie pie. The youngest, the baby. This is kind of a cool picture. It has our bags, and then in the background, the boys are flipping bottles. You can take the bottles from the boy. I don't know. You can take the boys out of like random YouTube things, but you can't take the random YouTube things out of the boys. Look at this, dudes. This is like damn Garden of Eden. There's a bunch of animals grazing. Oh, check this out. I don't know if you can see. Those are lions, dude. Freaking lions. Sleeping lions. See that? See if I can zoom in for you. That's a sleeping lion. Spread eagle. Daisy sleeps like that. Oh, shit. Look at that. Oh, yeah. You ain't going to get that on no iPhone. That's Pixel, baby. That's a big boy. Interestingly enough, the lions were mostly sleeping, and the lionesses seem to be doing most of the work. Look at that. If you look closely, that's a damn cheetah. Look at that. Damn cheetah. Why don't you use a mirrorless camera? I don't know. I didn't want to pack too much stuff, so I just brought my phone and binoculars. This is taken from a hot air balloon, and you see the shadow of the balloon that we were on. Oh, so after the hot air balloon ride, someone's asking, what is on the stream and why are you showing animals? Because the stream's over and I'm only showing pictures for people who wanted to have random content. I told you this was going to be random. So if you're still on the stream, that's not my fault. That's a damn hyena. But if you look closely, the hyena is actually nursing. I'll see you guys later. I know you guys are busy, and we're not talking about Yang. Oh, this is the best picture of the whole trip. You ready for this? It's going to blow your freaking mind. Blow your mind. Huh? Is that not gorgeous? What about this? Tell me, do you not feel the anger? This is a damn hippo. That hippo was pissed. You see him looking at me? You see that? He is not happy. Luckily, I took my binocular and I held it to the front of the camera. That's how I got so close with these pictures. All right, almost done. That's like some kind of deer looking thing. My son knows the name of all these animals, but it looked like some kind of deer. Water buffalo. Water buffalo. That's another kind of deer looking thing. I think it's called a water buck. That's another deer looking thing with a different type pattern on its face. These are two little Thompson gazelles, two little boys, and they were like fighting. It was kind of cool. Oh, this is another nice one. I like these like landscape ones. Look at that. It's like a motivational picture. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, somebody asked me about a giraffe. How you like them apples? How you like them apples? You like giraffes? I got you a giraffe. I'm trying to get a little more focus. Oh, yeah, there it is. You can see the hair like all over his face. So cool. I think this one's kind of philosophical. This deer looking thing found this little mound and he's just like looking out for bad guys. Fat hyena. He had just eaten some carcass, I think. Or maybe she's pregnant. Both. This is Ryan with the sun coming in the background. Look at that. So gorgeous. Gazelle. Zebra. Oh my God, I forgot about this one. This one's another like Garden of Eden kind of vibe to it. With the rocks and the blue skies. Oh my God, I forgot about this one. This dude, okay, is wearing a hat that's made out of a lion's head. Like leather from a lion. Crazy. But this could be also like a award-winning portrait, if you ask me. That's Pixel 3 phone, guys. You know, this is turning into a Pixel commercial. That is another hyena. As you can see, I have a thing for hyenas. I find that they're very unappreciated. They actually hunt for 70% of their food. You guys like babies? Baby zebra? Baby picture? Another hyena. This one, he's kind of looking a little eerie, but I still like him. Let's see what else I got here for you guys. A lot of family pictures. Oh, here's another sunset taken from the back of the truck. And then this is at the end of the trip. They were tired. Whew! All right, guys. I will see you guys later. And thank you for joining me on our animal safari. Keep it real. Good night, nerds.